All right, guys, welcome to Next Level Legends social media audit for week 2. We are in week 2, and I heard through the grapevine we've got a diamond popping this week. So congratulations. We don't know, I don't even know who it is, but I know that there's a diamond popping, and that's exciting. It's our very first diamond for Next Level Legends. And I also see a lot of you who attended last week's social media audit and follow-up Friday and all the other things that we've had going on, I've been watching. You guys are implementing right away. That's vital in this, right? It's so important that you understand that you can't sit back and just be a collector of information throughout this 4-week journey. It is crucial that you grab a hold of whatever you're learning, and whatever feels right to you, whatever something that you could grab a hold of and run with, it's imperative that you do as soon as possible, right? Don't sit back and just say, the next 4 weeks, I'm just going to be a student and I'm not going to apply anything, because then it defeats the purpose. And this group is very much action-based, if you notice that. Like, we're giving you guys actionable steps to do right now, here, today, to be able to cross off that goal of achieving diamond within the 4 weeks together. So we're going to be celebrating our very first diamond this week. That's exciting, but I know we've got so many more in the pipeline. All right, let's kick this off. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my Canva. Can you guys see my Canva? Awesome. All right. So, oops. And of course I had it on the wrong one. Okay. So, social media audit. Today I got a co-host with me, Susie. Say hi to everybody.
Hi guys, happy to be here with you guys today.
So Susie and I are going to be leading this social media audit, and it's super cool because we have a lot of things in common, her and I, but then we have a lot of things that are different about us. And I loved that they paired us up, because I feel like you're going to be able to hear what I think is important and what I focus on, and then what Susie focuses on as we go through the different accounts. But real quick, Susie is going to recap for us what we learned last week, because we're not going to go over that, but we want you to know that if you missed last week's, this is what you could have expected there.
Right, guys. So last week we went over the do's and the don'ts, and just recapping that, one thing that I saw going through a couple of social media profiles is that, and we're going to get more into that, but not to do a lot of Beachbody, like all Beachbody. You want to diversify your feed, which is another thing that they've covered. You want to make sure that you're sharing positivity, that you're not doing stock photos or, sharing negativity. You want to make sure that you are very clear on who you're serving, who is your audience and who are you. Those are the things that you want to just make sure that you're branding yourself in that way. And the aesthetics, you want everything to look pretty much, cohesive. You want it to be very visual, and we're not saying to be fake. Obviously, you want to be very real, very authentic, but you definitely want to stop people like from scrolling to check out your page. They talked about using carousels so that you could, your people could stay on your page a little bit more, which helps with the algorithm. So again, do's and don'ts go over, back to the last call that Christy and Nicole did, but the do's and don'ts were very clear. You could screenshot it. And then again, lots of variety. Make sure that you know who you're serving, and the aesthetics, again, bright, clear, nice, crisp pictures makes a huge difference.
Awesome. Thank you, Susie. And I'm over here dying because the journalism major here has a typo on here. Aesthetics spelled wrong. And I'm like, no, fail. In journalism school, you get a straight F for that. All right. Now, so what I wanted to bring to you guys today is some new stuff. So we heard what we learned last week. I didn't want to re-tap on that, because you could go check out that training video with Nicole and Christina. But now here's 6 more tips that Suzette and I kind of just got together and said, what can we share to help them sizzle it up? To now focus a lot more on increasing engagement within Instagram, right? So we know what it can look like and all those kinds of do's and don'ts, the basics, the foundational pieces, but now how can we focus on increasing engagement? So we came up with 6 ways that you can sizzle it up. Okay, number 1. Right now it's trending and showing. By the way, there's another disclaimer I got to put out. What we teach today can literally change in the next 30 days, next 2 months, next 3 months. Like, social media and the algorithms and what works and what doesn't work evolves so quickly, guys. In fact, Christina and I hosted, and we did like this 5-day Instagram training called Instagram Now about a year and a half ago. And everybody loved it, and it helped people so much within their business. But if you go back to that training, oh gosh, I could cross out a bunch of things that we said that have shifted today, because a lot of things have come into play, like Instagram stories came into play, and just different, trends started to hit. So just know this, what we're teaching today is what's happening right now, right? What is in right now, what is proving to be the algorithms are favoring, and what our audiences and followers, and what culturally is happening right now within our society, but also to know that it can change. And it's kind of up to you to be up to date. You know what I do as a business owner? Whenever I see I'm stalled on my social media, if I see that I'm not gaining enough, followers at a great pace, if I'm not getting engagement on my stuff, I start Googling, like, Instagram now, what's happening, what's working, what's not, what to shy away from, what to do more of. So that's where this is coming from. This right now, these 6 sizzling tips for you, that's where it came from. But just know, it's also up to you. This is not Bible here, right? Don't take this and run with it for the next 5 years and say, well, because Monica said on a training, because it can change, okay? So right now, what are algorithms favoring? What's working? IGTV, okay? IGTV, use it. It is this tool that it creates. If you go to your tab under IGTV, you can create series where you can have different topics. You can use this to breadcrumb out and put out value that stays around, right? You have, I believe on Instagram, IGTV, you have up to 10 minutes of a video that you could post on there. And this is a great way to start, like, creating series, kind of like a YouTube, where you have all your content. And content that I say, we're gonna go over this on a couple of accounts that I saw today, but IGTV, you wanna focus on stuff that kind of doesn't outdate itself, right? So things like recipes, or like valuable stuff, like I did the food sensitivity test, or a review on a product, like a hair product, whatever it is, that stuff doesn't outdate itself, and it's valuable that people can go back to. But if it's things like, oh, my workout, I just did my workout right now, and I'm gonna, record a video of my workout because it's a brand new program that just launched, well, that's gonna outdate itself, right? So Instagram stories, Instagram TV, we want to use for that purpose, but it's important that you start to use it. Number 2, provide value your followers will want to DM and save for later. What I mean by DM and save for later is this. I meant to take a screenshot and I completely forgot to do it. But when you are on Instagram, you have the ability to do 2 things to a photo. The little, looks like to me, a paper airplane, right? On a post, on a feed. You're able to get that post and DM it, shoot it on over like a paper airplane over to your friend, right? You're also able to use this little flag. It's like a little flag where you could tap it and it'll save it. And then when you go up to your main page, you'll see that you have a bunch of posts that you were able to save and use for later, right? It's like a collection of all the photos. Your goal is to figure out how to provide value that people are going to want to shoot on over to their friend or save for later to refer back to. Right? That's a big way to ensure that you are providing value that is getting sent around, right, to different people. And again, the algorithms favor that. When it kind of like heightens, so to speak, your score on social media when you're doing these kinds of things, okay? 3, cross-pollination by using geotags and tags. What does this mean? It means tagging your location if you're in a certain place, right? That helps a lot too. And tags means, like, for example, if you're wearing certain workout clothes, certain brands, if you're wearing a swimsuit, if you're at a certain restaurant, and you're sharing the cocktail, if wherever you're at, every possible time that you have the ability to cross-pollinate and geotag or tag something, do it. Because what cross-pollination means is that by tagging these, you are cross-pollinating with this person's, that page, whatever, that product or that person or that location's followers with your followers. And it works both ways. See, if you have on the other end, for example, workout clothes, if you have on the other end another company that's also building their brand, they're going to understand that language of cross-pollination. They're going to repost you, right, tagging them, and you're working for each other. That is really big right now on social media, and it works. It works. It's how I also, when I want to get out there and find new followers, that's what I focus on, because I want to be able to get in front of the things that I like, number 1. So it's a connection because we're into the same things. So I want to find those people that are into the same things. And then 2, to be able to be in front of an audience that's not quite mine, right? And so I'm sharing that with the tags that I'm using, whether it's locations, like I said, or if it's products or whatever, anything that you're using. If you have the ability to tag it, do so. Number 4, preach less and story tell more. If you were to go back 2-3 years on social media, you could put up a great quote, a one-liner, and you would do that a lot, and it would have huge traction. Nowadays, and preaching at people, and it would have a lot of traction. That works still here and there, right? Like I still put out quotes to kind of share, you know, my mindset, to kind of share my humor, right? Sometimes I use it as humor. But what is winning today, what you should be doing more of, not saying you don't do none of the quotes and just one-liners, yes, but not all that. What is working more, what is more valuable is storytelling. And we're going to go into a few of the accounts today that were selected. By the way, congratulations to all the winners. You guys were the most active ones in our group. We're gonna be able to go through your accounts today, but you earned that, so congratulations to you.
Yes, Mo, and on that note, there's a couple girls in the waiting room, just so you know.
Oh, let me take care of that. And so, sorry. See, this part of Zoom has like completely, see, now I gotta stop share to be able to do it. Okay, has completely thrown me off. And I even put a password on it thinking I didn't have to worry about that. All right, let me go back to screen share. Okay, so storytelling, and you're gonna see in the couple of accounts that we're gonna go through today, there were so many opportunities to breadcrumb a story, and I nitpicked them out, and you're gonna hear a lot about that today. So I'll be like, oh, good, this was a great way that you could have bridged in a story, and it would have breadcrumbed a little bit more about who you are and what you're about, and bring people closer to you. Number 5, use Instagram story functions often. So on Instagram, you know that you have like the plethora of different ways that you could use their functions, whether it's with a what do you call it? Oh my God, the words just escape me right now. With a poll. There you go, poll. I was trying to say poll. A poll, or where you can enter a question, or now there's that DM me button. So if you don't have the swipe up button, you can still use the DM me button, and people can click there and it takes them straight to your messages. I use a lot the music function. I use the time function a lot, where I put a timestamp on what I'm doing. So all these things, it shows that the algorithms favor you when you're using the Instagram story functions often, all right? So play with those. Also, I think it's a really great way, the GIFs, the GIFs are life, and it's a way to bring personality to your feed and to your Instagram stories that makes it funny and makes it creative, okay? So definitely use these Instagram functions as often as possible. And then lastly, avoid redundancy in what we're doing, because redundancy, it becomes where your voice and what you have to offer becomes white noise. What I mean redundancy? Well, let's get real. You know, what we do, it's kind of like Groundhog Day every single day, right? We get up, drink our Energize, we work out, we maybe do some work on our computer, we hang out with our friends virtually, you know, they do dance parties, we do dance parties, and then wash, rinse, repeat, repeat, right? Well, it's about focusing and understanding that it's not that you have to come up with like this freaking plethora of content. It's not that. It's figuring out how to share the same content, but with new angles at different times, right? New angles. So I drink Energize every single day, but I'm not doing an Energize dance video every single day. I'll do it here, but it come here, and other days it's just me stirring, talking about what my workouts is. Sometimes it's me, you know, just doing a funny, you know, with my my Energize there and like a GIF dancing on top of it. I switch it up, because if it's every single day, guess what? It becomes white noise. It's like, okay, saw this yesterday, right? It's just like a movie that you're repeating over and over and over. So figure out ways. It's not that you have to come out with new content or new things that you just got to pull out of your butt to talk about. It's about figuring out how to do different angles, right? Same thing can be told about the selfies, or where you do your workout, how you video your workout, the different angles, the different scenery, the ways that you take pictures of yourself, close up, farther apart, so on and so forth, right? You guys get the point. But just avoid redundancy. If it seems like you're watching the same movie every single day on your stories, and nobody watches their stories more than me. I don't know about you guys. Does anybody go back like throughout the day? You're like, let me just see how my movie is playing out. I do that because it matters, because I care about what my followers are seeing. And I'm always thinking about that one person that just, landed on my page today. Are they going to be interested in what I'm doing? Are they going to get a full grasp of what I'm about? So every single day, it's the same content, the same things that I'm sharing. I just figure out different ways so that I keep it interesting for the person that just landed on there, but I also keep the person still engaged, has been following me for quite some time. All right. So those were 6 tips that we had for you guys today. And so, like we said, we're going to go into a couple of accounts today. So let me go to my list. I want to congratulate Amy, Kristen, Sam, Jessica, and Ada, who won today's social media audit. And we're going to kick off with Kristen. Let me see. I'm screen share here now again. Oops. That was on the right page. Okay, let me get out of this. And then, like I said, today, as we go through it, you're going to hear my perspective, and then you're going to hear Suzette's perspective, right? And they probably will differ. I told Suzette, I'm like, we are not going to, in any kind of way, practice this or talk about this together, because I want people to get a true, I want it to be organic, what you share and what I share. And for you guys to understand that it's not what anybody says is Bible, but it's what's worked for us, what we feel could work for you, but it's up to you to try things and do things different ways to see until you tweak it and you get it right. I think so often, especially in this business, I've learned that I could hear so many trainings at one time. Like I plug into everything, guys. I plug into everything, but I do have the discernment to know, you know what, this won't quite work for me because that's just not my personality, or it's not a fit for me. But this, I can see how this will 10x my game. So you got to have that also for yourself. So whatever we share today, just know that it's largely opinion based. For me personally, aesthetics is really, really, really important to me. It's important. I feel like someone landing on my page, especially Instagram, where the platform is very much visual driven, that the aesthetics of a page is important. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about aesthetics. The second thing that I think is most important is that there's value coming out of the page. And it's just, yes, it's a kind of like a diary of your life, but you are in business. So you got to figure out how to breadcrumb and level up when it comes to adding value to people through your page so that they stick around, right? So that they stick around and it's not just hanging out with you, but that they're getting value from you. All right, so let's start with Kristen. So Kristen here, by the way, I love the aesthetics. Right away, I'm like, crisp, clean, so beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. I will say though, this is the picky Monica. This picture right here, this one right here threw me off. I was like, whoa, this doesn't go with the rest of the flow. And then I did this. I clicked on it and I was like, bingo, bingo. And it's
I thought the same thing.
And it's a close-up of your nephew, who is gorgeous and beautiful in that face. And that would have, in my opinion, so this is just to give you guys a perfect example. When I stand back, when I look at different things I want to share, what is the most visually appealing? This right here. A person's face will always be 10 times more visually than a product or an object or whatnot. Like seeing him in that face is like gorgeous, and that would have been more eye-catching to than this photo of the pool that also went against the theme and the feel of what you have going on here. So like that's just a simple thing that Monica would do to stand back and be like, ooh, what fits better, right? What will be a scroll stopper? Okay, but other than that, the aesthetics here are beautiful. The second thing that I'll say up here on the bio, you have, so we kind of talked about this last week. Christina and Nicole touched a lot about this on figuring out your ratios, right? So here you're following a lot of people that are very close to the amount of followers you have. Personally, what I do is I'm always constantly out there following people and finding people, but then I'll go back and I'll see, and Instagram will tell you, you click on your following and it's going to show you the top 50 people, or 49 people actually, because you can't unfollow more than 50 at a time. You will get blocked. You will get put in jail. But whoever it is that you're least interacting with, there's just no connection there, right? And I go through that list. Sometimes it's, people I love, like my family, and I'm like, I'm not going to kick them out because they're my family, and I know that my tia Alicia is not active on social media. Totally cool. But if it's someone that I attempted to make a connection with and it's just not happening, then I part ways. So I'm constantly making sure that I've got the people on there that I'm making valid connections with. And by the way, if there's someone on that list of the least interacted with that you want to get to know, you're like, you know what? I never really pursued the relationship, or I didn't pursue it. That can help you get it on your radar to be like, reach out to that person. Start being just as interested in that person because you want them to be interested back and start to develop that relationship, right? But it's to be cognizant of the fact of you want your following to constantly be people that you are connecting with, right? So that's number one. Number two, so stay at home boy mom, health and fitness coach, EO educator YL. I had to text her and ask her, is this what I think it is? Because I know YL stands for Young Living, which is another company that does like the essential oils. And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay, so are you in business there? So I had questions asked about that. Like I wanted to know because I did see it breadcrumb over here. And in essence, after talking to Kristen, is that she believes in, like, she loves the oils, right? She likes to share. They have so much use in her life, and that's part of the value that she wants to share. So fantastic. I would just make it like, understand, like right here, I'd just be like, oils. I love essential oils, so that I know I can come to your page about essential oils. Because this to me is like, I don't know what that means. It's just a bunch of letters. Meditation and crystals, beautiful podcast. I love this, Kristen. And I saw that you and your husband just started this back in February. It seems like you just kicked it off, but super cool. And look at a cool way to cross-pollinate within two of your own platforms, right? So what I would have loved to have seen, it's in your bio, but you could breadcrumb some of this stuff of you and your husband onto your page and bring it back and forth, right? Added value. What you guys are talking about here is like gold. It's like a podcast with her and her husband. You get to see their personalities. It's so, so cool in my opinion. But I bring it back over here too, right? So there should have been posts here, especially if it's a new endeavor, how you're talking about what you guys are working on. And I couldn't find anything on our first couple scrolls. All right. So that's a little bit, especially if it's going to be here in your bio, use it. Use it to your advantage. This here, the creator of hashtag Mom Influencer Life. I didn't know what it meant. I think it means, and you could just nod your head and tell me yes or no, that you created that hashtag and nobody had ever used it, and then people started gaining traction. Am I right? Did I get that right? Okay, cool. So that's super cool, right? It's super cool, except when I clicked on the Mom Influencer Life, it's a bunch of people that have nothing to do with you. And really what you're doing is you're promoting everybody else, but not you. Like, it does nothing for you. So I just wouldn't have it there. I'd use that space to say something else that's going to be more important, like the cross-pollination between you and a podcast with your husband. Heck, that's valuable. That's really valuable. But a hashtag that you came up with that was just great because nobody had hit it at that moment, but now is tractioning and I even went on there and I didn't even find you. I in the first couple scrolls, I didn't even find you. So I just don't see that as value to be on your bio. Okay. And then your link tree was perfect. You have everything there. Good to go. Before I go to stories, let me go one more thing here, and then I'll pass it over to Suzette to see what her added things are. So with these essential oils, I know that, these pictures are really cute. They're really eye-catching, but I want to show you like the power of your face being in something. So for example, like over here, your face is in something 102. Your face is in something, 510. Damn, girl. Over here, 42, right? So whenever your face was in something, you had 84. But when you were doing the essential oils, 43. See how it drops? Like, your face is always going to be more important. And then I kind of read one, right? I was like, okay, well, maybe this is, she's trying to give information or educate people on what these things can do for them. But I would have loved, like right here, you were talking about how you can use it in your laundry. Man, here's what I envisioned. You grabbing, and this is my son's dirty shorts, so it's not going to smell good, but we're going to pretend here. You grabbing your clothes and be like this, and then carousel the second photo to be the informational piece. Hello. If you would have plugged your face in there with the laundry, and this stinks, by the way, like that would have been 10 times more valuable in my opinion, because again, your face, there's nothing that beats that, right? And then you can still have that informational piece. Maybe you really like these photos because they are pretty, but imagine if you were to recreate it with your face over here and then the informational piece on the side. And the same could be done, and I know that that's for the essential oils, but the same thing could be done for Energize, the same thing could be done for anything else that we're promoting, right? And that we're sharing of value. So just a little heads up on that. And then another way to cross-pollinate also that I saw on this, because I see you do a lot of stuff with your kids and I love it. And this, by the way, your storytelling is on point. So this photo here looks like it's just the kids, but you're talking about anxiety and you're breadcrumbing a little bit about what you struggle with and what you go through. And I thought it was fantastic. You know how you could have cross-pollinated in here too? I would have just thought about like this easel. You know how many moms, like I looked at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that easel is so cute. I could gift that to my niece, you know, who would love that. I would have tagged it with where you bought it. Just there. You don't have to say it in the caption, but if they scroll over the easel, it's a good way to cross-pollinate and use that to your benefit. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there before we're going to go into stories. Suzette, is there anything you want to add on Kristen before we go into stories?
So you know what? I thought I don't have much to add because Mo, you and I were on the same exact level. I wrote down on my notes, I didn't know what EO Educator YL meant. Honestly, I didn't know that it was your podcast. I personally would say my podcast or creator of this podcast versus creator of the hashtag. That's me. Because I looked at the podcast and I'm like, cool, she's probably, you know, just linking them because it's kind of, you know, it's something that's enhancing her life. But I didn't know that you were in it. I didn't take the time because I'm interested in you. So I'll be honest, that's what happened to me. I like how you have, you know, the covers of your highlights. And yes, I agree with Mo, like 100%, that the aesthetics were beautiful. And exactly that picture of the pool, I was thrown off. I was just like, oh my gosh, the second picture in the carousel totally gravitated me. And I was like, that would have been it. So those are the notes I wrote down. And then I did go into her stories. Mo, can you take me into her stories? So I saw your stories, and I don't know if you want to like share a little bit so that others can see it. I thought this was great that you're giving the caption for those that if they're working and, you know, they can't like listen to what you're saying.
Here, yeah, I did it also because I work out at 5 a.m. and the kids' rooms are like right there. So I'm like trying to talk loud enough, but not yell. And then I'm like, they probably can't even hear me.
Yes, because if they're working and they can't hear you, then they could see what you're saying. Here with the salted caramel, I felt that there's an image that I would have probably not, that one. I felt that was wasted space for me personally. And then when you go on to the next one, I do like the engagement. And I wrote that down. I loved how you did, you know, you showed, but I would have said something about results. But other than that, I mean, I thought that was fun. Your face has a lot of enthusiasm. I loved it. I love this whole Tuesday motivation as well, because then people know that you're going to take them through a little bit of, you know, that inspiration or motivation. Here you have another invitation with the video, which, you know, also I loved. But as I continue to go through your stories, as pretty as they are, I felt that it was a lot of Beachbody, in my opinion. I was just like, okay, I want to see what does she do during the day? Because it's almost like if I feel like if I'm being just like, come on, buy, here are the products, promote, you know what I mean? And then when I saw this, that completely stopped me. I felt the emotion. It was such a tender picture. Then I saw the one of your husband, and you know, that I think personally, if I was your audience, I would absolutely want to see more of that. And then sprinkled. This vulnerability right here totally gravitated me because I too can relate to days like that. So I loved that one. And then I didn't see the trailer. But that was kind of what I felt when I saw your stories. I wrote down in my notes, I would sprinkle variety. Because remember, going back to when I talked about what Christy Nicole talked about last week, was that one of the points is to diversify your feed, but that also goes to your stories. You know, you're looking for your besties. So you want to attract people that are like you, and they want to know what you're doing during the day. It's not, you're not all Beachbody. You're way more than that. As a matter of fact, I didn't see anything about the oils, which is fine, but that just goes to show you how it doesn't have to be all Beachbody because, again, you're not diversifying it. So those are the little constructive criticism that I feel that I could give you that, you know, just right off the top, like I was like, that's what I saw and that's what I would give. It would be a little bit of the do's and the don'ts. But I think that other than that, you know, I mean, really your page and your colors, I could see the soft pink, the blush, I can see that popping through, and that's your brand. Clearly that's your brand. I see that. So those were my thoughts on going through your page and your stories.
Yep, you hit most of mine too. I would say that I did see that you weren't feeling well yesterday, which it could have been maybe that's the lack of interaction, like of the everyday life, because you weren't feeling well. I hope you're feeling better today. But I will say that I will not congratulate you, but commend you for showing up as you are. I think that's really important too. When you are having a bad day and expressing that with your audience and your followers, be like, I'm here, I'm just not feeling well, but this is how I'm coping, is also really beneficial. So I just want to tap on that because that is definitely a plus when you show up no matter what, right? But you show up as you are. But everything else that Suzette said, I agree with 100%. And the last thing that I did forget to say here on this feed is that very little talk, like this much talk about business. I think there was only this one post that I ran into. And after that, it was very hard to find a post on working the business. It was mostly fitness driven. And also here on results, I'm not a fan of doing multiple result photos like this, a big collage, because it's hard to see the results, right? Results are hard, like you gotta see it up close. I would say to have done side by side and then a carousel of every angle, right? So that people can see the bigger you are, the better you are. And so that was kind of proven. Let me see if I can find it over here. These are at least a little bit better where you can see it closely. And I don't know why it's not there. You had 122 likes when you could see it closely. And here when you were far away, you had 53. Imagine if you were to bring it even closer to really, really see the changes. So just a couple of things on that as well. But overall, Kristen, I say that you're doing an amazing job. It's on point, just minor, small tweaks that you do, and just 10x the value, 10x the things that you're doing, and it'll start to build traction. It seems like you're on the right track and you're building traction. So definitely great job. All right, let's go to our next person. Next up is Sam, and you're gonna take a hold of this one. Suzette, let me see, Sam _ ZI. All right, take it away, Suzette.
All right, so Sam, I absolutely loved your page. First off, your number ratio is excellent in my opinion. You're doing way better than me. I have so many unfollows still to do. I did like how you put that you're a boy mama on a fit journey, and that you're a wife, and that you love beer, and that you're, photography obsessed. And so you put I guess it's your team name. That's the only thing I was a little bit about. What is SLZ for fitness? So I would question that. I think I would, I don't know, because for me that was like, okay, is that her team name? And I would only think that because I'm a coach. Because if you're not a coach, and Sam, I don't see you, so I can't see your face. But again, this is just what I saw that I was like, okay, maybe I would change that. Helping busy women find time for self-love. Loved that, because that's kind of like exactly who you're looking for. You're looking for the busy women, and that you're helping them find the time to care for themselves. And the more info with your link tree was fantastic. I love that. Your highlight covers are really, really cute. I love that they're all unified. That was great. Now, when I go down to your feed, I loved the transformation first off, because that's the first thing that I saw. So that would be a stop. Like that would, stop me from scrolling. And look how many likes you have, right? So that I think was wonderful. I went over, if you scroll a little bit more, okay. So the picture in the middle with your eye right there, that was super to me. Just, I love how your lighting is great. And again, look at that, 124 likes. What I wrote in my notes as far as your page, was more on your stories, because I do like your aesthetics, and I do feel that you have like a unified color tone. I don't see a specific pop of color, but I do see enough color that looks to me very, very pretty. I love how you're showing, tender moments with your children. All those things I loved. I love the food, the variety. If you scroll down a little bit more, like, I love to see how you're outside, you're changing the location. I do love how you're adding that value of the quotes, which is mindset. So for me, those were absolute things that I was just like, yes, 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 yes. And then I went more into your stories. I'll be honest. I dug deep into your stories. So
okay, so before we go into stories, I'll tell you my thoughts on real quick on aesthetics. So agreed that you've got great photos here, right? This one, man, this was also a scroll stopper for me. This photo is just so beautiful. And I love how what you shared there, the value, the breakdown, like brilliant. I loved it, because that's gonna stop me and I want to read about that. The quotes, I will say this. I felt like this is like colorful and it seems like you're drawn to purples and blues, but then these quotes are so dark and it creates this darkness on this, whenever the quotes are there, the black creates a darkness, like it just looks dim compared to like up here. When I just look at this feels brighter. I would change this to maybe a lighter color. I know it seems like you're using word swag because I recognize the fonts. Word swag, I change it to a different background color. If not white, I'm a big black and white girl. But if you're not white, like the blue, the purple, it will tie in so much aesthetically, and it'll also be easier to read and just brighter, right? Bright, because everything else about you feels so bright and airy, but then these quotes feel dark. Also, this is a personal opinion of mine, but the quotes, when they start to get too confused, like too busy, right? Where it's the words and you start to, there was like some, I think down here, like when it starts to get too busy, I feel like it loses what it's trying to say because you're like going around to read like this. I think that simpler, the better when it comes to quotes, right? Because it's direct. So I would just, that's my personal opinion. It starts to get busy. Some of them are really easy to read, but then some of them are harder to read. But other than that, like she said, awesome stuff. This right here, I would have put this in stories, right? Because it just clashes with everything else that's being shared and the aesthetic view of everything. You clearly understand the power of your face. And it's beautiful, and that is, like I said, it's super eye-catching. And when your baby's in it, it's even more so. What else did I write here? The black quotes. Oh, there was one here that I just wanted to show you guys, because you do share about the business and you do it great. But I wanted to prove a point down here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so you did this CTA, and it has me, Christina, and Becky on the front, right? And it was like, wah, 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 it flopped, 18, right? But just below it was you on your computer, right? Now, I get it. Like, I remember joining the business and the coaches that were, well into the business that I looked up to, that were my North Stars. I'm like, oh my God, they were amazing. But nobody else knew that. Only I knew that because they were in the business. Guess who people back then, and I didn't quite understand it, but guess who they wanted to see more of? Me, right? So what I would do, in this case here, you're sharing the coaching opportunity sneak peek that's coming up. I would have, if you would have slapped on a photo of this caliber in front of this one and carouseled the informational piece behind it, bam, right? So lead with you guys. I know right now, as you're growing your business, you're a little bit like, oh, I don't know, because I'm just starting out, but you got to understand that people are coming around for you.
All right, let me go find my shoes.
Wait, I had to unmute something. Sorry. Okay, so other than that, there's nothing else that I had here. Great job. You're doing phenomenal, and I love it all. All right.
And I want to say that she's doing a great job also, Mo, on videos, on Carousel, and on IGTV. She's using all of it. So when people go to her page, they're going to get to see, like a lot of her personality already just on her feed if they didn't have time to go to her stories. I did see that.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Take it away, Suzette.
All right. So I loved, obviously, these graphics. To me, they're very, eye-catching. Obviously, you're going to do your call to action, very clear. You're showing, what it is that you're offering. So I'm a fan. I use those too. And I love how, she used the DM little Instagram, option. That was great. All right. So here, I did see that she was showing a transformation, and then she went ahead and talked about the challenge packs. I love how she's using the poll for engagement. That was great. Here, when I looked at that, I loved how she was sharing that those are her tools. And then she added a gift. So I did love that. I would have done probably a little bit more clear, but again, I know that sometimes, we're rushing and it's just authenticness right there. So I like that you were using that, to do the invite, and you're talking about the new program. Right here, I would have done ingredients or a quick, I would have added a picture with the recipe, because you're just showing that you're eating your veggies, which is great. I applaud you. But right there, I would have taken the moment to have added value. So I would have added either a recipe, or really quick, I would have been ingredients, or, you know, something to like, to just, you know, give more. Love that you're sharing the Shakeology. This is a fun trailer from someone else. So I probably would have maybe just shared, here's, you know, a little bit of inspo or something like that. And then this was awesome. Like, this stopped me. When I saw him throwing the balls, I was just like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I could picture, you know, how energetic that moment was in your house. I absolutely loved it. And personally, I would have liked to have seen more of that, because then she went right back into this. And I get it, throughout the day, you know, you're going about it. But when I look at my notes, I definitely wrote more family is what I would have loved to have seen. More of the house. You have a gorgeous house just from that right there, that floor, that lighting, those curtains. I would have loved to have seen more of that, because I felt again that it was a lot of Beachbody, a lot of inviting programs, a new product, but then I only got 2 slides of who, you know, you are. Not even you, because it was your child, but still, I would have liked to have seen more of you, what you do during your day. How is it that even though you're busy with a small child, you still fit in Beachbody into your life? Like, that's what I like to look for.
Awesome. I agree with everything Suzette said. I will say also that these videos are super cute, but I would have stopped it at over here with these stock photos here. I would have used myself here. I would have just talked about this. Hey, and by the way, you know, summer's here and we've got a promo happening. You can save some money. Like me talking, I would have done that there versus a stock photo of that kind of stuff. But everything else, I can see how it's bridging in your CTA. Yeah, everything else here, same thing. A little bit more on what you're doing. You know, again, you could talk about it like me right before I hop on this call. Talk about what I'm about to do. So it breadcrumbs the business aspect.
Can't wait to
Here, same thing that Suzette said. It could have been added value. You could just spruce it up a little bit with adding what you were doing here, what you were cooking, or what you were, you know, my meal planning. Is it a recipe? Like anything I could have shared, or veggies. I make sure that these days I get in my veggies. Anything. It was just a quick boomerang, but nothing else with it. But other than that, great work, Sam. Doing a great job. Love it, love it, love it. I hope the feedback helps. All right, let's go to our next person. So we've got Amy underscore. There she is. All right, Amy. So I'll kick it off with sharing. Obviously, the ratio, we talked about that, so you can focus on that as you go. I saw here different things that you shared about yourself. These are all cool, but I'm going to give you some feedback when it comes to now to your feed about what you're sharing in your bio. So first and foremost, it goes back to the fact that our face is like the most important value that we've got. So I see your face here, but I see also opportunity to have put yourself in it more. So I see that you love your plant, like you're into plants and flowers and all that kind of stuff. You have a green thumb, but when I clicked on this could have had you in it, right? It would have made it something that's more eye-catching. Or to add value to it, it could have been like, well, it's just a quote about a flower, but if you're a green thumb and you are constantly sharing about how much you love it, I would give tips. I would add value to this, because right now it's just a photo and just a quote. And it could easily, I'm sure the engagement on it, 26, where you can increase the engagement on it with those couple things that just level it up, right? What else did I write here? So needs more of her, missed opportunities for value. Oh, I also saw it like in the linguine here. I would have slapped in here a recipe, right? Something they could take away. Just saying, like, have you ever tried this? It's a healthier version, but why? Like, why? What more could you have shared to spruce it up and to explain why this is something important? Oh, look, someone even asked you, what's different? You see? So right there, you could have just added a little bit more, like, I always talk about how things, you can post surface level, but if you just take a second to go a tad bit deeper on what you are trying to convey, it makes all the difference, right? So put in that little bit of extra work. Same thing, you're very much into like posting pictures of nature, skylines and stuff like that. Those could be upped in its value and what you're sharing. Like this right here should have been in the stories, right? That video from a hailstorm, that should have been in stories, because it just really doesn't have any purpose here or provide any value other than it being a pretty cool hailstorm. So just different ways that you can add in more value when it comes to your page. It's more about you, and it's stuff that's going to be gravitated towards what you have to offer, right? The value. And like I said, our goal is for people to save our stuff, right? And reshare our stuff. So if it's just surface level, it's going to become white noise and just fly right by you. What else did there was this photo here. So I wanted to show how you did this, the side by side of your face, but then you were talking about here how if you would have known the value of getting started sooner, that you would have known what it was going to feel like on the other end, right? And then the trip that you were going to take with your husband, how much different it was going to be and how much better it was and how healthier you guys are. But all I saw was just a face picture side by side. I would have loved to have seen a picture from that trip. I would have loved to have seen like the difference between you two in your transformation. Just more to it, because what you're sharing here, there's so much possibility to share like a story, and these photos like just didn't do it justice, right? It was just your face, and there's so much more to it, which is like what you're explaining. Then I kind of came down here and I saw that you had done that in the past and it had more engagement to it, right? And but then here you didn't go into storytelling. You were just preaching basically. So this is a perfect example of just preaching, but then over here you told a story, but then the picture got switched. So then it cut the story, the visualization of the story. So just showing you how you could bring things together to make it like leverage it at its optimum ability. All right, what else did I see here? Same thing with this food picture. There was such an opportunity to share more about this recipe. If you were going to share the food, like what would make me want to flag this and keep it? It just gave the ingredients, but it didn't talk about, like, for example, great time to weave in the containers and be like, by the way, in a portion fix world, this equals this. If you are struggling with nutrition, like this is how I can help, or this is my easy to use system, and just great ways to bridge it in. Over here, these hashtags. By the way, hashtags these days are just not trending. When it's done like this, it doesn't even when it's added in as a comment, they say it's not even any longer working towards getting it into the catalog. So I would just sit back and look at your picture and really give your hashtags, not the generic ones, but the hashtags that you want to use that are going to be relevant to you, to help add to the caption that you're sharing. What else did I have written down here? So yeah, just ways that you could have missed opportunities for value is in the linguine and the plants and flowers, your recipes, the sunsets, Valentine. I think there's one here on Valentine's Day that I mentioned. Let me see if I can find it. That I thought was like a great, look, that's a great transformation. There was one here on Valentine's Day that I just said something about like, is this how it was? No. There was one that was like, it's Valentine's Day. This is our, whatever, 8th, I'm making this up, 8th something Valentine's Day, and that's it. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It was a great missed opportunity to tell a story about how you guys met maybe, or what your life is like, or what you guys have in common, or whatever, or even the struggles. Like, we struggled with this, but we've come out on the other side after all these years, and so on and so forth. So just missed opportunities, a couple missed opportunities to really get to know Amy. Because I felt like when I first came here, I kind of a little bit, but it seems like she's shy, so she hides behind stock photos and pictures of objects versus herself. Suzette, you got anything to add?
I think the only thing that I would add is the water post that she has in the very top. That's definitely something that I would have put in my stories with like a little reminder. Here's your water reminder, drink your water. And the other thing that I also want to tell her that I commend her for is the one at the very top, her on the phone. She does talk about the business. And I commend you for that, because it took me a good year to talk about the business when I first started. So I applaud you for that. That was excellent. But I agree with the flower. I would have put your face in all those pictures of the flowers. Absolutely. Because I think that, your face is what people want to see.
All right, go ahead and take stories.
Okay, so I wrote down in my notes, go ahead, you can share that, let me see. Okay, sorry, take it back because I didn't see these. I only saw the other ones in the beginning, sorry. Okay, so I love that you were sharing a picture of you and your husband getting it in. And then here, I liked how you recapped the value that you gave last night. Apparently you gave a great recipe, or you tried it, it was awesome, and you talked about the ingredients. This was just, again, you sharing your flour again. So I felt that there was redundancy because you had already shared that flour on your feed. And then right there, I would have absolutely taken this and I would have talked about the business again. Because anybody that looks at that is going to be like, what the hell is a social audit? Or, you know what I mean? So I would have been like, oh my goodness.
Nailed it. So
yeah, like one of the perks about this business is that they're going to help me grow, and they're going to, like, I'm going to level up. Like, this is amazing. Show all the aspects of coaching with this right here. And I would have even thrown like a picture of you, saying, oh my God, like the emotions. So I thought that was, just, again, they're little things that you could just, like Mo said, dig a little deeper, and it just makes you stand out and not be that white noise, that I think that sometimes social media can drown us in. But other than that, I mean, that's basically what I saw. And I do want to just say that the numbers, the ratio is obviously a little off. She should work on following less, because they're very, very close. So that was the other thing that I did see that I wrote down in my notes, that I said, less followers would be better for just that, because I know that that's important to Instagram.
Awesome. And then I want to add to this, because we haven't really talked much about this today, highlights here. So going back to your flowers, it seems like you're very knowledgeable on plants and this and that, and then you have even a green thumb highlight here, but it's just a picture of a bunch of flowers. Here's where value, and then again, value in the stories, and then you would tag it into these thumbnails of these highlights so people could go back to. I mean, it could be tips, right? Like, that's super valuable. Same thing with Yummy, which is it Shakeology? See, here I would have one about recipes, and that miso glaze, the recipe should be on there. It should be on there, ready to share. And then I see that you kind of led up to it, but the recipe hasn't been yet shared. But once it is, it should be going down here into a highlight, so that you start to build this catalog of value that people can go back to when they come on here. It seems like you need work on the highlights, because it has a couple things, but then it just seems like you slap together some things. Think it through, think what's most important to you that you want to share, and then get out there and create these libraries of value, which is going to help people stay interested in what you're doing here. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got. Anything else, Susie?
No, I mean, that was really it. I think the only other thing that I would probably throw in is that she doesn't have a Linktree form. And that's just, I don't know if, she's fairly new, that she might want to just do research, because I like how Linktree, which I admit it, I'm confessing it, I don't have it, but someone said the other day that your Linktree should be a place for resources. And I love that. I hadn't thought of that. I thought it was just kind of like an application thing. So now if she adds that in, she could throw in even resources on how she cares, like her favorite finds of how to care for the flowers or whatever. So I just thought that was something that I was like, she doesn't have a Linktree form, and that's something that maybe she could look into, just because, again, she has a lot of variety. I mean, I do commend her for that. She has the recipes, she has the scenery, she has the dog, she has her and her husband. She's giving a lot of stuff. It's just, I think, just little tweaks here and there that could just, probably just help you, like Mo said, just digging deeper.
Yeah, and it seems like you're just starting out also. So yeah. Kudos to you. You're doing you're going in the right direction. So good job, Amy. All right, let's go to our next one. Let's see who I got. I've got Ada.
Monica, before you start, honey, I think there's some more people in the waiting room for you.
This is so funny. When I'm on screen share, I cannot see.
I know. That's why I wanted to let you know.
Thank you. You're the bomb. All right. They're in there. All right. Next up, we've got Ada. So let's see. Ada's handle is _ Ada.
Gonzalez.
There she is. All right. You're up, Suzette.
All right. So Ada, the first thing that I want to just say is that I like that your face is very upfront in your profile picture. I love it. Your makeup looks flawless, girl. So that was something that I was like, hell yeah, girl, but you look beautiful. So I love that. Again, the number of the ratio, you're following a lot of people, way more than what you should be, just because those numbers are absolutely, just drastic. So other than that, I did look at your bio, and I love how you're explaining everything. And then, of course, when I saw that you're a principal, I was like, oh my God, let me check her out, because I have kids. So I love that, because right there, you're going to get the mommies that are going to probably stay there. Now, when it comes to your YouTube, I didn't get it. because it doesn't even let me in the YouTube video. So I don't know why that's in your bio. I don't know if it's a video that you created, but when I clicked on it, see, it says video unavailable. All right. Highlights again, the covers look very cohesive. And then when I looked at your pictures and I scrolled down, well, first off, the transformation, again, awesome job at already putting a transformation photo right from the very beginning. I love the middle picture that it's you and your face. I went in there, I don't have it in, I think I went in there and can I look at the content that she wrote, the post? Yes. So basically you're just saying, be true to yourself, honor your word, which I loved. You're adding value there. You know, you're giving somewhat of a mindset. So that was awesome. At least for me, I thought it was very cool because your smile shares, you know, a lot like of emotion. So that I liked. If you go back, I also saw that you had a picture there with your family about collecting moments. That too, look how you had 69 likes on that. So I loved that because there's a lot of happiness in that one. Next Level Legend qualified. That post, I probably would have talked a little bit in detail about what it meant and throw in, like when you go into the post, really throw in about the coaching opportunity and how you got, you know, in there, how you hustled to get in there because you were helping people, or you are helping people rather. I loved how you have this picture of, you know, all the people that I know, Fran and, you know, her daughter, all this, it's amazing. I love that. I love the scenery picture too. But then when I got to Sean T, I'll be honest, that I was like, okay, why a picture of Sean T? Because if I know nothing about fitness and I don't know who he is, I'm going to be like, why is he here? Just because remember, people come to you for you. I would have done the carousel and I would have put a picture of you first and then talked about what you're doing. Again, when you scroll down, I see him there as well. So I want to see more of you. And again, I would have used him in the carousel if you are going to talk about that it is a new program that you're starting. But other than that, I did love your emotion there. You in the bikini with the 70 people that liked. I mean, that's freaking amazing. I love that you're expressing so much emotion and you went into the story about how 2 years ago, you know, you needed a change. And so those things for me are absolutely, you know, I don't know how long you've been a coach, but you know, they're things that we should be doing. I don't know if there's anything else there, Mo, that you want to add, because after that I went into her stories.
Yeah, so over here, I actually kind of differ on this photo. I felt like it was such a beautiful photo, eye-catching, it's your face, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to have not just dropped a quote, but told something about yourself. Because this is just pure preaching of like, you know, here's your reminder, be yourself, but bridging in a story of how you have like leveled up in your confidence because of the work you've done on yourself would have been like gold right here, right? It would have just gone a little bit deeper. I would leave the quote stuff or the very surface level preachy probably to your quotes because you do put a lot of quotes out there as well. I have the same feedback here on the Next Level Legends. I'm muted, just like feeling my ears. There, okay. The Next Level Legends here, it talked about, it went straight into a CTA and said next step diamond. People have no idea what diamond is. Absolutely no idea. And the CTA that you're looking for hardworking women, I love it, but I would have used a different photo. So I feel like we have two different kinds of posts here. We could have put this post that you qualified for something and like Suzette said, used it to say like, man, I've been really, you know, I'm really doubling down on my efforts into my business. I'm super passionate about what I do. And right now my team and I, we are shooting for a big, massive vomit goal, you know, like that. Speak in terms of people that not the Beachbody lingo and not the business lingo. So people grasp a hold of what you're talking about and then just say like, I qualified to be a part of this mentorship program. I love how this business, you know, is women empowering women. I'm not in this alone. I'm being taught by the ones that have had, you know, lit the path for me and are ahead of me. So things like that can also serve as people understanding that when they join your team, they're not going to be alone and that there's going to be all these tools to build their business. Like you could have used this in that way and it would have made much more sense. And then another post with you in it, right? A face of you, even when right here with the girls there, I would have used that as like, I'm looking for 10, women to join my team. Because I could see a team here. And now I'm connecting the dots between, oh, wow, these are the faces of her team. Like, this is what I'm going to be joining. And over here, she's working hard, and this is what's available to me when I do join the team. So just kind of tweaking a little bit there. Same feedback with Shanti. Look, nine likes. Over here, 6 likes. When it's you, 70 likes. When it's you, 40 likes. You see the difference? So you are your brand, right? Like Susie said, you could still use this because it seems like you were in a challenge with Shanti or you did something with him. You could still use this in a carousel, but behind. Value is you. Lead with you. See if I have anything else on this. So stock photos, your storytelling, ratio. Yeah, we good. Other than that, that's all I've got. So we'll go into stories, and Suzette, you can go ahead and take over stories.
Cool. Okay, so right here off the bat, I would have added names. I would have been, she's a mom of 3. I would have said she is a teacher in my school or something like that. Like, just how you said you were a principal, I would have liked to have seen a little bit of a role, of you as a principal, some way like getting dressed or going to work or something. But here I would have absolutely identified, like I would have added more identity to them just so that I could relate and even talk about maybe what they've overcome or how much weight did they lose, not just the picture. I would have added that, like more details in all those transformations, because I did not feel any connection at all to these girls. And it's funny because I know them. So I was kind of like, oh, I need a name. I need to know a little bit about these girls. What did they overcome? Like, that's how I felt.
Can I also add into here, it's a great example of like, this just seems quiet. And what spruces us up? Gifts spruce it up, like, oh, hey, like I'm like big for putting like, or fire, or like amazing, spruces it up, makes the energy up on these transformation photos. Because hello, this is freaking amazing. And also music here, just slapping on that music thing, but music behind it, again, creates a different vibe, because right here it just feels like flatline, right? And we could so spruce this up. So I'm with you on that, Suzette.
Yeah. Again, what I saw here was a lot of Beachbody. I saw that here. You talked a little bit in the camera, but I would have liked to have seen your face there when you said another day done. And I get it. Here you're talking as well. You showed some workout moves. You showed how you pushed through the struggle. I probably would have done a call to action right there. I would have slapped on a poll like, hey, girl, you ready to join me? Because this is hard, but together we can do it. So again, just seeing when I looked at your stories, I love this emotion right here, but I would have talked a little bit about the coaching business, because you talked about being a diamond, or, like shooting for that. So those are just little things it's just little things that you could tweak. But as I went through your stories, again, here you shared, how you were pushing through, which I commend, but definitely I would have done a CTA, clear, like invitation, like, this is, how are you going to join me? Here you talked about some headbands, and then I didn't see the one of the breakfast this morning, but again, if you go back to all your stories, they're all Beachbody. I didn't see anything of you other than working out. I would love to know, are you married? Do you have kids? I mean, even though I saw that in the bio, I would want to see it. Again, what stopped me was that you said you're a principal. I would have been like, she's a freaking boss in her suit, or maybe you're in summer break right now in a Zoom call. I don't know. Maybe I would have put like the last day of school before quarantine. But I would have just liked to have seen something else of you for me to have felt that connection, And when I looked in your entire profile and stories, what have you overcome? What has Beachbody done for you? What caused struggles in the past that now you're able to say, this is why you need to join me? Like, I want to know why it is that I need to join you, because people are just losing weight. And who are these people? There are no names behind the people. Like, I would dig a little bit deeper, because there's so much potential here. But again, just the diversifying your feed also goes into your stories. Absolutely. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I agree with everything Suzette said. The last thing that I will share here, towards the end, I was trying to stay there, but I was making noise. These workout videos. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them on a workout, right? I do believe it's important to sometimes to breadcrumb you doing the workout in real time, meaning as you're doing it, like you were doing right then and there. That's good because you got to show what it's actually like. But 6 of them back to back and showing all the moves, white noise. White noise. How I spruce it up is that I'll put like a trailer, right? I'll do a trailer of a workout, fast paced, make it super exciting, and then I'll make it funny, like, but this is the real life. I'm really dying, that's like the highlight reel. And it kind of creates like this level up, and it creates it exciting where it's not 6 different 15-second intervals of just moves, and then it, like I said, that's flat line. So just get a little bit more creative with that so that you avoid that being repetitive, and it changes the game when it comes to stories, because in stories you have such the ability to get creative. And I agree with Suzette, it's like 100% beach party back there, and that's the place. Stories is a place where they should feel like they're getting you, like really getting you, like the everyday I look like crap, I just woke up like this type feel. All right,
last one, right?
Last one. Here's Jessica.
We're almost done, guys.
And we left Jessica for last because I knew Jessica had some work conference calls. I hope you got to make it on in time, Jessica, to see.
In the waiting room. Can you grab her really quick?
Yeah, going for it. So sorry. I don't know how. Oh, there she is. I see her on. Hi, Jessica. Right in time. It's your turn. All right. Let's type in Jessica and check her out. And I love that her name has 2 C's. Which is different. It's just,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, Jissi. Okay, Joe. Oh, hello. I don't have the cursor there. All right, Jessica. So right off the bat, I just love that your name has 2 S's and 2 C's. That's so cool. Love the aesthetics. Love the colors on this. Bright. You clearly understand the value of your face as well. Your branding's on point. That when it comes to you, love it. Oh, hold on, wrong page on my notes. Okay. Your IGTV, I went to your IGTV, but we haven't talked much about IGTV today. And you have 3 of them, and I love them. So I love the title of this. What are the consequences? I was like, oh my gosh, it's so deep. And you talked about like what it would look like if you didn't do this. And you have a picture of your son, which I think is like super important. It's time with your son. I loved it. And then a little bit of value that this doesn't outdate itself. Talking about 3-day refresh. I think you should hone in on IGTVs. You have it. You have the it factor for that kind of stuff. And I love you're well-spoken, and you just get it. You get it. And I think that you could leverage IGTVs a lot more. I love that in your posts, you did this quite a few times where you redirected to your stories, and from your stories, you redirected to your feed. Smart move also. So you're telling people to go here, and you can see all about me, and there's added value as you go. Now, I will say that the ratio is off up here, so that's one thing to look at. The fact that your ratio is off. Oh, let me see. Let's see if I find. Okay, cool stuff. Everything else looks great. The link tree was good as well. So you got a link tree happening here. Here on your highlights, I feel like there could be more, and just like focusing on value that you're going to be adding. Here's where I thought there was a missed opportunity for some cross-pollination. And then I was proved when I went and clicked on it. You have a swimsuit here, obviously eye-catching. You had engagement on this, and one of the first thing is people saying, I love your suit. You could have easily tagged the suit where you got it, and it would help cross-pollinate. So perfect opportunity to be able to do that. You did use the geo tag, which is cool too. What else do I have on here? As I was going through this, largely fitness, but maybe I missed it. I wrote down that I would love to see more of the business aspect of you working the business. Because I see a lot of fitness, but I don't see you working the business. However, I will say that because those business, like literally business working, helps when it's like a direct, right? So that's like a direct showing of the business. But you did breadcrumb indirectly when you did certain posts about talking about, this one was an example here. It's an indirect where you talk about getting out there and doing something you're afraid of, like starting that business, or like leaving, doing or shedding the pounds. So you breadcrumbed it a little bit, but it was like hidden, right? So don't be afraid to be bold about the business, because especially now that you're going to push to diamond, you're looking for people that want to work this business, and you have the it factor where you're attracting people. Now it's like attract what you got to talk about what you're looking for. Okay. Another thing that I had written here was like this photo of you and your husband. Absolutely loved it. I think it was gorgeous. And you were talking about your 7 years together. I think that here would have been like great opportunity to tell a story. how you guys met, you know, what it was like you guys, this is an adorable photo. Like, it's going to make me click and want to read. And I feel like we could have added more here to really use it to its fullest potential. Other than that, I thought like everything, like I said, aesthetically, and I could see when you made the change. So let's kind of go look at when Jessica made the change, because I scrolled down and you can see down here, see how it switched? She picked up a preset, and then she ran with it, and it's been working for her, and it's changed the look and feel of her page. I will say here, you posted, here it is. Here's a work one, but then it didn't have you in it, right? And it just and so the engagement was a lot less than when it's your face. You see that? So we've proved that point over and over again. But now this type of stuff, but with you in it, would be gold. That would be next level stuff. Let me see what else I have written here. Yeah, I mean, that's what I got here so far for Jessica. Susie, you want to share your thoughts?
Yes, so I looked, when I went in there, that picture of her with the 5 like that, it's basically just saying, you know, next up is week 6 or by week 6. But I would have loved to have seen there why it is that you're doing the program. Because again, you're just saying, hey, look at me, I did it, which is great. But I would have liked, I've struggled in the past. Now I'm doing what I need to do to overcome. This is why I got into the program. I probably would have done a call to action right there. So I did see that. And then the other one that I saw was under that, there's a picture of her with a white headband. Beautiful, gorgeous. No, yes. I love that she's talking about the business. Again, I commend you because I took so freaking long to talk about the business, but I probably would have done you in a different outfit. Only because since you do have a lot of fitness, I probably would have thrown in there you behind your computer or your laptop. Just me, because I do see that there's a lot of fitness. So if I'm just looking, I probably would have never clicked on it and not know that you were looking for influencers, because I would have thought, oh, she's probably just posting that she did her workout again, because the one on the top there.
Solid, Susie. That's solid. I feel
right?
like it would have been like, bam, if it would have been you dressed in some kind of just lifestyle clothing. Like, you just nailed it with that. Because look, I even missed it. I didn't even click on that, realizing you were talking about the business, because I thought it was a fitness post.
Yeah, exactly. But I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, she should have definitely done, you know what I mean? Something else, because I would have never looked at your call to action, which was wonderful. You know, looking for fitness influencers. Again, I commend you for doing that. So that's what I could say about her page. Those are the notes that I kind of wrote down. Let me see what else I had.
I did want to show this one because I loved this story. Your storytelling skills are so on point. That's why I wanted to tell you to do more of it, because you were telling a story here about when you grew up and the memories your mom helped you, you know, like the things that you don't ever forget, and how you want that for your son, but you express that in your writing is beautiful. It's really great. It created a great visual. So if you guys are looking for a great storytelling post, like this was one of them that I absolutely loved. And then Susie, you want to tap into stories?
Sure. So adorable. Loved it. But that's already at the end. I think you got to go back. Okay, there. Like I told, I think it was Sam, or I don't remember. I would have thrown in the ingredients, the recipe. I would have added value instead of just that little boomerang of the food. And I would have thrown in like a container gift or something like that. This I loved. So cute, because this is giving me, you know, a back look into what your life looks like. Here again, you're doing a boomerang of food, but I really don't know what that is back there. I can assume it's an egg white omelet, but you know, then I would have to be like, okay, what is it? Whereas I would have loved for you to have thrown in the ingredients, the recipe, or something to do with your meal plan, that you're following it. And then I could probably ask you, oh my gosh, what does your meal plan look like? Looks like, you know, something like that. Here, I saw you talking into the camera, and this was 2 hours ago. So I'm going to be honest. I didn't listen because I think that 2 hours ago I was already on here. I love to see that your face is there, that you are talking to the camera, and that you're throwing in a transformation. Right after that transformation, though, I would have definitely thrown in a call to action, an invite, something with a poll, or drop your email so that, you know, you could join my boot camp or something like that. Because that's usually what people are looking for once you throw in the transformation. So that's what I see in your stories.
And I would say, I wish I could see more. I feel like this content is very scarce, and like, I want to know more about you.
More about her. Absolutely. I agree.
So I would add so much more of your everyday life back here. And again, I think a lot of times for me, I'm just afraid of like, I used to be afraid of what I look like or whatever, like I'm like, but I just woke up and I'm not even dressed. But people actually gravitate to like that everyday, what it looks like, the raw stuff. And you have the ability to do that. And I feel like I wanted to see more. I just wanted to see so much more.
Me too.
So I would put more TLC. If you want to, so your game is strong, right? And it seems like you're just like, so here with the following and all that and the amount of posts you have, is like you're starting to build traction. Now's the time to 10X. Give it all you got. Get out there as much as possible, as much exposure. You're doing a lot of the right things. It's now about 10Xing it as you go. But phenomenal job here, Jessica. Love it.
Aesthetics is gorgeous.
Yeah. Yep. And I had everything else that Suzette said with stories is exactly what I had on my list as well.
Awesome.
All right. So we did it. We got through social media audit number 2. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I hope that we tackled some of the things that you've been wondering about on how to increase your engagement. If you have any questions as you go, drop them in our event page or in the Next Level Leadership page as well. And we're just going to leave you with one more reminder. Don't be a collector of information. Grab a hold of the things that you've learned today with us and what you're learning throughout the group and implement right away. And understand this, that you must get comfortable with being uncomfortable in the beginning until the new things become comfortable, and then you rise up to the next level and the next level and the next level. Like Suzette was saying a little while ago, like I remember, I commend you for sharing about the business so soon. I commend you for doing it, because we know it's a lot easier said than done, and we know that we're asking you to step largely out of your comfort zone. But I promise you, the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more comfortable it becomes, and then you start rising to the next level. Susie,
yes, we're here to build next level legendary businesses. So let's rock, people.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you.
Guys, have a good one.